Hi everyone, welcome back to the series where I crochet one card from the Granny Square Stitches card deck every week. Today we are doing this one. So this they have named Half Double In Between. And the reason for that is, see if it'll focus on the chart. This is the symbol for the half double crochet. They're like capital T. Do you see where the other stitches have been placed? So we're not going on top of a stitch. We are going in between the stitches. So I'll explain that when we get there, but that is just how you're going to read this chart. So it says to make 15 chain and follow the chart. Now I learned last week that if I want to make all my squares the same size as my original square, I need to add so that I have a total of 15 stitches, not 15 chains. Because here we're making 15 chains, and this chain 2 is counting as a stitch, but we only have 14 stitches, and that's going to leave me with a small square like this half double crochet one that we made in week 2. So I am going to start with 16 chains, and to get that number I've come over here to the stitch repeat or stitch multiple that they give you, and it is 1. So I'm just gonna add 1 chain, so I'm gonna chain 16. Now it's shown in 3 colors. So I have got in 3 colors of Anthem. This is coral, I believe. Yes, it's coral, pink pearl, and lemon ice. I didn't really throw an orange into my kit. I have this, this one, which is, what one is this? Peach pink. But I was feeling the brighter pink today, so we're going to work with that. It looks like we start with our pink, so the middle, our middle color here. Nope, yep, our middle color here. So I'm going to grab my pink and get a slip knot on my chain. Whoop. Get a slip knot on my hook is what I meant to say, so that I can start to chain. And we're adding a chain, so I need 16. And then we are going to start in the 3rd chain from our hook with a half double crochet. So just as before, I'm going to work into my back bump. So I'm just going to count my bumps. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to put a half double crochet in that chain. So to make a half double crochet, we're going to yarn over first. We're going to insert into that chain, draw a loop back through, 3 loops on our hook. We're going to yarn over and pull through all 3. And then I'm going to continue that in each chain all the way down. So I am just looking for my little bumps, and I can put a half double crochet in each bump. Now we will change color at the end, but I will meet you back. I'll meet you at the end where we will do our color change. Okay, I'm here at my last stitch. I want to change to my yellow, so I'm going to get my yellow ready for that. I'm just going to move that out of the way. So to do the color change, I'm going to yarn over first and insert into the stitch and draw through a loop. This is where I need to do my color change, my last pull through. And for the half double crochet, we only have the 1 pull through of all 3 loops. So I'm going to drop my pink. I'm going to drape my yellow over my hook and pull it through. And then I'm going to grab my pink. There's a lot of ends to sort of finagle. And we're just going to drape it over my hook here. And then I am going to chain 2. How do I know I'm going to chain 2? It says right here. The little chart shows a little 2 chain. So that's what I need to do to start my next row. And then here in the orange, 2 chain to come back. So we're chaining 2. Now we're going to start going in between stitches. I'm going to turn my work. I'm not going to carry my pink. I'm going to see, because I will come back with my darker pink and then I can pick up my lighter pink. It should be good. But let's take a look at going in between stitches. So the half double crochet have these posts. We are going to be working, basically putting our hook in beside the post. We're not going to work under the V of our stitch. We're going to work around this whole, all these bits of the stitch. I don't even know what to call them. That's why I'm struggling for words. Now it's not, if you've done any crochet, it's not like working like a front post stitch. We're working in between our stitches. Okay, so let's show you how it's done. We've already chained 2. So now we're gonna yarn over. We're gonna insert in between the 2 posts of the stitches and grab our yarn and pull it back through. And then we're going to yarn over and pull through. Then we're going to come over between the next 2 posts. Insert, pull through, yarn over, pull through all 3. So normally I would come here and I would go under the top of the stitch. But I want to catch all 3 of those strands of my stitch and go in between the stitches. So we're going to do this in each gap all the way down the line. So I started off with 15 half double crochets. That included the starting chain 2. So at the end of this, I should have 15 half double crochets, including my starting chain 2. I'm at the end, and remember our chain 2 counted as a stitch, so that is my last space that I need to find and need to stitch into. I really hope this is in focus. I never know with my camera sometimes. And we're going to do another color change. So I've inserted, I've drawn up a loop. I'm going to drop my yellow. I'm going to grab my brighter pink, my coral. And now I can chain 2 with my coral. Whoops, there we go. I'm going to turn my work. Now before I get going, or with my coral, we're going to take a moment and we're going to count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and my chain 2 is 15. So I'm right on target. Okay, so that is basically what we are going to do for this entire swatch. So now I am going to yarn over. I'm going to insert into that space between my last 2 yellow half double crochets, and I'm going to make a half double crochet. And I'm going to do this all the way down the line. I'm going to meet you at the end because we're going to pick up our pink again. And I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, I'm here at my last stitch. So I've got my last half double crochet and then my chain 2. So I need to find that space between those 2. Yarn over, pull up a loop. I can drop my bright pink and my lighter pink is waiting for me. So I'm just going to pull that up and pull it through. I'm just going to give everything a tug. Wrap that one over my hook like I like to do. And then we're going to chain 2 with our new color. Turn our work and keep going, working all the way back again. Okay, I've got 1 stitch left. I need to do my color change in that stitch. So I'm going to drop my pink. My yellow is already waiting for me, so I can draw through with my yellow. And then chain 2 and work a yellow row. And that's it for this stitch. It's fairly simple once you sort of figure out where to put your stitches. You're just going to go back and forth. This palette and this color is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 rows, and then you change to, for me it'll be the bright pink to do your border. So I'm going to meet you up when I've finished my last row and we can do the border together. See you then. I'm pulling you back in at this point because I have basically reached the point, if I was following exactly what is pictured on the card, where I would switch to this bright pink in my case and start the border. But I am nowhere near square. And if I pull in, this is my single crochet one from the very beginning, you see I've still got quite a bit left in order to reach the same size. So I am going to keep going. I'm going to do my I'm going to change color to my bright pink, and I'm going to do another row with this, and then I want to see where we're at. So it could be that this square ends up with a yellow border. It could be that it ends up with the lighter pink border. It'll all depend on how many rows it takes to reach square. So I just wanted to tell you that it is okay if you need to alter what is pictured in the picture, because your attention is going to be different. I know I'm a tight crocheter, and while the width of my stitches are usually consistent with others' gauge, the height of my stitches tend to be quite a bit shorter. So I'm going to switch to my pink and see where we're at. I feel like I'm going to need at least another row. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to do this one more row, and then we'll see if that is enough for me to be square and to do the border. So I think that is pretty good. I think we can start the border now. Before I start my border though, I am going to cut off my other colors. I don't need the bright pink anymore, and I don't need the light pink anymore. My border is going to be yellow. I'm just going to move this out of the way so it isn't confusing. So just a reminder, the border instructions are in your booklet, page 22 and 23. It's just a very simple single crochet border. We've done it 3 times already, so I'm not really going to go through it in great detail. And I just wanted to point out one thing because it is quite important. So if you look at the picture on the front of the card, can you see how the stitches are between the half double crochets? Because half double crochets have that third loop, I know that these stitches are between because there's nothing running along here that would indicate that they've gone into the tops of the stitches, and I will show you what I mean. Okay, so just get my pink tail out of the way. if I go into the tops of stitches, I'm going to do a few stitches and then I'll bring it up close to the camera to show you. So I'm going to go into the tops of the first 3 stitches, and then I'm going to go into the space between the half double crochets like how we've been doing before. See if you can spot the difference. So here I've gone into the top of the stitch, but do you see this bar? That's my 3rd loop for my half double crochet. And the photo on the card does not have that 3rd loop. These 4 single crochets, I went between my stitches. That's more true to the photo on the card. Okay, so that first row of your border, you're going to be going between the stitches just like we were doing. So we need to find our chain 2. We're going to go between our stitches. And I guess it kind of helps maintain the pattern for the beginning of the border. There's no way that you can do this along the bottom, so don't worry about it at that point. Okay, I'm at my last stitch, which is in between my last half double crochet and my chain 2. So I'm going to do my single crochet, chain 1, and then I'm going to single crochet right back into that space. I am going to take a moment and put a stitch marker in that chain 1. Because when I come around to do the second round of my border, I need to stitch into where the chain 1 space is, not into the single crochet. So that stitch there is my single crochet. That's my chain 1, and that's a single crochet. So I need to make sure that my stitch marker's in the right spot. Okay, now we need to come down the side and we need to sort of evenly space, say 13 to 14 single crochets. So we're working with half double crochets. So rule of thumb for half double crochets is like approximately 1 to 1.5 stitches per row. I know that you can't do a half stitch. Let's see, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 rows. So if I get 13 stitches, I'll be pretty happy, which is basically 1 per row. And we're just trying to find good places to insert our hook. I've already cut off all my other, whoopsies, I didn't finish that stitch. I've already cut off all my other ends, so I don't have to worry about those. I will crochet over ends as I go if it feels right. Okay, we're down at the bottom. This is my starting chain 2, so I'm going to try and go through it. Now I just want to take a moment and count my stitches. I feel like I might need another one. It's feeling like it's pulling in. So let's see where we're at. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, I definitely want to have at least one more. So let's just see where I can maybe add another stitch. So that's me at 13 stitches, and that feels much better. It doesn't feel quite so tight like it's pulling in. So now I can keep going. I'm going to chain 1 and put 1 more stitch into this chain 2. I'm going to grab another stitch marker and mark that chain 1 space. And then I've got my defined V's along the bottom. So I can just go into those. So keep going and I will meet you back at the beginning of the round. Okay, back at the beginning. I've done my chain 1 and now I just need to slip stitch to my first single crochet, chain 1 to start the next round, and we're going to start in that first stitch. So now I just get to single crochet in all the stitches that I've made, which makes it very, very easy. And then I've put stitch markers at my corners. So when I get to my stitch marker, I will remove it and then single crochet, chain 1, single crochet, all in that space where the stitch marker was. And that is all you have to do for round number 2 of the border. So here I am at my stitch marker. So I'm going to take it out. That is my single crochet stitch there. So I actually need to go into this little space here, single crochet, chain 1, single crochet, and then don't forget that you need to go back into that single crochet that's in the corner too. Sometimes it can get hidden by your corner single crochets. And when that happens, then your corner starts looking a little bit wonky. Okay, so I'm going to keep going around and I will meet you up when I'm finished. I am at my final chain 1 space. So we're going to go into my space, do my single crochet, chain 1, single crochet. And now I'm back at the beginning, so I can cut my yarn, pull it out, and do our invisible join. So I'm going to thread it on to a yarn needle, and then I'm going to come up. So that is the first stitch of my round. I'm going to skip over that stitch and go into the second stitch. So from front to back, just pull it through, and then I'm going to find the last stitch that I made and just go down through the middle of it and out the back. And then I'm just going to pull my stitch until it looks approximately the same as the one underneath it. And then I can weave in my end. And we are done. So that is week number 4, card number 4, half double in between. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you again next week. Next week, we are doing this one, which is the linen stitch, also known as the moss stitch. So that'll be a fun one. Well, I'll see you then. Bye-bye.